Um, when the COVID passed over, like everyone had a problem with food, so we're supposed to help them.
And because you are the owner of a boarding house or something?
No, I'm not. I'm just a normal student, and
You just do volunteer, right?
yes, do it.
And, okay. And where did you do that?
We have a community, like an evangelical student community, and we help them in our ability.
Okay.
Yeah,
And kind of where was that?
it's in the cross of Mountain Street. It's a small church.
So you are Christian
Yeah, Christian.
or Protestant?
Yeah, Protestant.
You are Protestant.
Yeah,
Tin Tin lành hay là Thiên Chúa?
yeah, Tin lành.
Okay, Protestant. Okay. Interesting. So you have because you are in the communities of Protestants, right?
That's right.
And how many people did you have yesterday?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
How many people did you have yesterday?
No, we are just planning a list, and this week we gotta run the project.
Ah,
Yeah.
Instead of you deliver, you try to deliver essential things to students, right?
Yes, correctly.
Okay. And what do you plan to give them?
Like, we're planning for around 150,000. It combined rice,
Okay.
milk, and eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. Interesting. Anyone in our class want this kind of donation?
Yeah, we are still receiving donations.
Okay. But that's interesting. And can you explain a little bit about why do people do volunteer or do donation or kind of do charity? Why do people do that?
I think mainly because of love, like how we receive from the society, how we show, especially with us, we show the love of God for them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's just, I think, the reason why people do charity.
Okay. And anyone, do you have any questions to Tai? Hello? Hello, everybody. This is a big trend now. Can anyone ask him a question, please?
Yes, I'm Jen, and I have questions about volunteer.
Yes.
Because I have many volunteer activities in 4 years when I enter into university, and I have a problem with this because could you give me uh, could you give me your talk about the problem between you do volunteer activity due to certificate?
Ah,
Yeah,
I can
because
you.
because I met a lot of people and they I think they did many volunteer certificate by many volunteer activities by wanting to get certificates to make their profile better, and they don't have many love to these activities. So I think this is a big problem for the youngster nowadays.
I see. Interesting question, Tai. Can you talk about that?
So you mean like when we do charity, we always receiving fame, right?
No, it's not like that. Kind of more and more people, when they do something, they volunteer to do something. They need to get a certificate to say that they have people that
Ah,
that will enrich or kind of make their CVs looks better or something. Uh,
um,
and it happens now when more people do charity because of that, not because of the love of doing. So can you explain that or share what you
honestly, our community doesn't give us any certificate. So mainly we do charity for love, like
without
we
doing that, right?
yeah without do it without receiving a certificate. And as I said, with Mr. Kang, we do it for love, only love. Yeah, and how to share the love of God to people out there. That is the main reasons. So when we, I think when we do charity, we should not think about certificate or receiving things like it's something become inside of you, not become outside. Yeah.
That is something hard to explain to people. When you trust in God, I cannot talk much about this because when I study abroad, we can see even in the society, more than 90% of people of the population they follow God, they trust in God, and they do the good thing, good deed to the society because of their humanity. Because Christian is the one of the modern philosophy. Kind of, we would not say that philosophy. Kind of the modern ethic, the modern ethics that people in the modern country or in the Western country try to follow. They try to keep the good deeds of the society, try to help people. They try to thank the God because God helps them to have the life or something like that. And you could not imagine that if you are outside of the kind of the clan. I study different kinds of religions to understand why people do something. That's why I understand well about what I is saying, but you may not understand if you don't really into the information about religions. For me, I am an atheist. Atheist. This means I don't really think that I follow any God, but I'm not a type person that don't trust anything. So if you know the word atheist, it means that I don't trust in any I don't follow any religions. I kind of I believe in something and everything. It's mean nothing. It's hard to say, but I will type the word for you so that you know how to say about this. Um, So I will type that word for you, and so that you know how to say atheist. Ism or atheist. Atheist. This mean that I don't trust anyone, but I know everything. Uh, I I I don't follow. But I know. I don't resist anything. I I believe in everything, but I don't trust or no, I don't follow any God. But I know that they have reason to do this, and I kind of, how do we say, I admit their belief at the same time. And we have we have the other word for saying about this is that somebody follow one god or some gods, that you believe that there is some ghost in the word, so we call that a theist. So you are a theist or you are untheist. So if we use the word so we say I am an atheist, or I am a theist. That is how it is different. So if you say I'm a theist, this means you don't trust any god at all. But your knowledge does not prevent you from learning and understanding about God, about things. I don't trust, but I know that God may exist. I believe in something bigger than that. And if I say I'm a theist, it means that I follow some kind of God. There are many different kinds of goddess, and godness. And if you are a theist, like Thai can say that Thai is a Christian or Protestant, and he is a theist because he believes in Jesus Christ. Okay, and you know that for people who follow Buddha, so they are they have different kinds of religion, many other religions in Vietnam and in the world, and we have to learn how to respect them. We learn to respect, to trust them, and to believe them, to listen to them. And it's not easy for Vietnamese to do that at all. So when we cannot talk about this a lot in a classroom, so I will stop right here, and you can learn 2 new words over here on the chat box. Is that a theist and theist? Okay. You have any question for that? Hello.
I just think about like my situation about religious. But
Okay.
I'm not really artist or an artist.
Mhm.
You know I have a belief that God, Buddha, they will live in the other life, like
Mhm.
the other space of us. So
Mhm.
I think that like the Buddha or the God
Uh,
can meet each other somewhere and then say hello, how are you today? Something like that. So
Okay.
do you have any word for a person with a belief like me?
That's it. Atheist. Atheist.
Oh,
You are an atheist. So you don't trust anything. You don't believe in anything like that. That is how we say it. You just say I'm an atheist. You get that?
uh, so you mean if you don't believe that in anything, and but in my case, I believe in everything.
So that you are theist. You are a theist. You are a theist.
uh,
Okay.
I
So
think
I just explained two different cases. One is that you don't believe in anything, and one is you believe in everything. So if you believe there is God, you are a theist, and if you believe that there is no God, you are an atheist. Okay?
I mean, sir, I mean, she's mentioning about policism, policism,
Yeah,
policism.
Catholicism. Yeah.
Yeah, politism.
So it's the same. It still belong to theist, right? So it's been at that time it's you would believe in God, and then you can say that you believe in God and any kind of God. But if you want to believe in many different kinds of gods, so you are a polytheist. Polytheist. So I am a polytheist. At this time, you believe in many different kinds of God. Okay. But you can say, like for my case, for my real case, I am not a religious person, but I believe in God, so I am an atheist. I am atheist. Okay, so this is how I say about me. So I give you examples and an explanation about these terms because it's difficult. Any question related to that anymore? Is it clear to you, Vân?
Yes, I get it.
You
Thank
get it.
you.
Okay, no problem. Everyone else, do you have any questions on that? Or something else? Because today I don't want you to think a lot and learn the lesson, because I promise to you that we are just talking about what you want. Hello?
I just want to ask you something like, as a student, do you prefer to do volunteer work or to have a part-time job?
For my case,
Yes.
when I was student at Caltech University, I was one of the kind of the leaders of the social work group of Caltech University. We organized activities to help poor people, to have students to clean the school, to maintain the rooms, to go to the handicraft, the school for handicraft people, for disabled people, to have them play, and we go to kind of we have done volunteer works a lot. I have been I have been an active person in doing kind of, you can believe it, in like youth union activity. I was really active in the role of being a members of the youth union when I was student, and it taught me different kinds of skills and knowledge in dealing with people. So that's why after graduation, when I go to the workplace, I'm different because I'm active. And at that time, I don't really have a part-time job because there are not many part-time jobs. There was not many part-time jobs like these days. At that time, I have done different kinds of jobs when it came to a season, like sellers for some trade fair. So I will apply. I will cut some classes. No, I would cut some classes because there was a trade fair, and when I worked in the trade fair, the money is higher than normal working. You see what I mean? So I don't really have a part-time job, but I have a seasonal job when the money is higher. I don't spend time doing the same thing boring every day. Sorry for that. Or sometimes I gave consent a consultation. I gave consultation to people who want to buy computers or things like that, and they can ask me. I take them to the store, and we bargain. We did bargain we did some bargain so that the price is lower, and I get money from I get the tip from the buyer. Something it's not much money, of course, but I have people kind of people from the remote area if they want to know more about computer. So I know a lot about computer at that time. Not now. I kind of my knowledge is not not about ITs anymore. I just use my skills. But my knowledge about a computer, what kinds of things should be inside of a PC, what should I buy for these kinds of PCs, or what kinds of purposes, I know exactly with how much money we can buy the best things. 20 years ago, not now. And I'm not the middleman, but I have people and they give me money for that. What else do I do? Yeah, I just I've done something like that. And at that time, sometimes we don't have books too, and it's not a part-time job too. So when I volunteer to help my friends do the photocopy, for example. So I don't have a part-time job, but I go to the photocopy and they are busy. So I help them. I help them with doing photocopy. I help them with kind of arranging papers or things, so they reduce the price for me, so that I can have my own book without paying anything. If I want something and I help them and they give it to me, or I have the class to do scanning of photocopy. Usually for the whole class, they will give me one extra free, so I don't need to pay for my own books. And kind of I don't do that because of money. I do that because I want to have a lot of things to read. So I read a lot of books at that time, and sometimes I use money to buy secondhand books to read, and that's why now I have my own library with thousands of books in different kinds of field, and I have different kinds of knowledge because of reading books in Vietnamese and in English at the same time. So it's hard to explain to you because you don't have the same habits as I had 20 years ago. I went back home after graduation with a vein of books, and sometimes you cannot see that for a student. So a student will not have a lot of books with them, but like for me, it's a different case. I read books and I own books, and that all of the things I do during my university time give me a lot of experience. I know how to do photocopy, for example. It's easy for you to have the copy for the one side. How about for the two side? Usually you cannot do it if you don't know well. And when you go to work, the company employer usually think that you know how to do things. So you have to do faxing. And, actually I know how to do that. I knew everything before I go to work. So when people need to fax something to a foreign country, and nobody would know how to do that, and I could do it at that time. Or somebody want to make a photocopy, and photocopy machine is not an easy work if you do it the first time. If you watch people how to do that, and in the past the machine is not modern as now, so I have to turn the paper so that it can have the two sides that you want. Like for the identity card, for example, you have to turn it, and you have to measure things like that. And actually, I can do all these kinds of things easily. And it's not for our major. It's not about English, but it's about how to do things faster, and you don't need to ask anyone. Or I learned some skills like when somebody go to my office, I've done a lot of volunteer activities, and I know these things. When somebody guest visits your office, so you have to bring some water or tea to invite them to talk, to talk and get information so that you know who that person want to speak to anyone. You cannot solve any problem because you have no right. You are the newcomers, but you need they go to see you first because you are in the front office. And at that time, I know how to do that. So when people visit the school for some reason, so they go to my office first, and then I invite them and I ask them they want anything, and they call the person who I in charge of, and I explain to them, and they come to talk to that person. Or sometimes when I know how to do computer well, so I can do faster with my typing and everything. It helped me a lot. And my first challenging was kind of a year after I've been working in a place. So there was a project, and they asked me to move to a new place for 3 months. At that time it was Phu Quoc Island. Phu Quoc Island in Kenya, right? And they tested me my translation ability. It's not a good experience because at that time I was working in the morning, like around 8 a.m. It was around 8 a.m. and my boss called me and said that okay, these are 4 pages of information that you need to translate right away. And you know, at that time, computers is I don't have computers with me at that time. I remember that. So I use the computers in my office, but I have to use dictionary at the same time because at that time we don't have a lot of dictionaries online. And internet was kind of a new item too. Only my boss have internet connection. So we don't really have the dictionary. So I have to go back to my boarding house at that time to use a lot of dictionary to translate and finish typing on 4 pages before the end of the afternoon, so that they decide if I can go tomorrow, the next day. I could go the next day to the island with kind of with packing with everything. And in the morning they go they will tell me that if my translation is qualified enough so that I could go or not, and they will tell me during the night. So when my boss informed me that okay, be ready for tomorrow to go, and then I went there for about 3 months. I gained new experiences with working with people from the government. It was not really the good memories, of course, but that I consider that as a kind of experience I do for a part-time job maybe, because that at that time I was still the member of one place and I do some other job in another place. The salary is the same, of course, because they have the policy to ask me to work for extra times, but without paying anything, and we have to accept that because at that time you have nothing, to deal. It's not the cultures of dealing like the society these days that you can deal your salary. 20 years ago, you just accept the salary that people give you, nothing else. And of course, now if you want more money, you can go to any company. You try to kind of you study more, you gain more skills, when you are ready, you can apply for the new job, for the new position if you are young. And that requires you a lot of extra activity. As a student, if you just study, finish the school, it's not enough. You have to do a lot of things. You have to get feedback from people of what you are doing for a community or for something, for some clubs, and you are active. You know how to manage your time before with doing something for you, something for the community, for your family. You have to know how to deal with things, and that helps you a lot as a student of English, because English is a language only. If you study linguistics or translation, you have some kind of major. However, it's not enough, because if you want to become a translator or interpreter, you need to study not only in the classroom. You need to study in the society. You need to read books. You need to read both the books in both languages. You need to train your skills by yourself, not from the school only, because the reality does not give you the second chance at all. And for translation, you have to do some project, kind of every day translate something. Every day you translate something, and you learn from that. And if you do more, you will have more questions to the teachers who are teaching you about these kinds of skills. If you don't do it at home, you don't have any experience. If you do the task only for the task that the teacher gives you, it is just inside the design things. You cannot get outside of the box. And the skills in the society need you to be not just a graduate from a university, new graduated people or person. It's a totally different story. So for those who study English only as a linguist, at that time you have to be really strong in the knowledge of linguistics, of introduction to language, of semantics, so if you know that really well, in the case that you can define new things. You can write new title for the new product or new invention or something like that. Or you know well about the language, in the case that you understand the inside meanings or something. At that time, there's a lot of jobs for you to do. But if without that, you are just a normal learners of English. So for listening, speaking, reading, and writing are just the basic living skills. So if you are good in these skills, it's just normal. If you are not good, it's a big problem. But if you are good when you are English learner, it is just normal. You don't have any major yet. You have to be good at some kind of specialized courses, knowledge, like linguistics, literature, something like pragmatics, morphology. So you have to go to details about that. You have to go to like coding process. You have to go to translation process. So knowledge in the English major is not the same as other major. For basic skills, it's just the basic thing. And if you want to have really good skills for English as a linguist, at that time we don't just study what you are studying. You do more reading, you do more teaching, you do more tutoring, you do more part-time job with related, and that relates you to English. You do more with communication. You do more with like pursuing, not persuading people. You do more with writing contracts. You do more with checking the law, or kind of everything. Or you do more with inventing new languages, or analyze the differences in the language of Korean people, for example. Or you analyze the differences of, you can understand when people write a code on Facebook, what does it mean? Does the people who wrote it, the people who wrote it, is he happy or sad? Something like that. If you are good at language, you see a code, you see a sentence, you know it has power. It has the meanings inside. And I can tell you a story on that. No, not a story, an example. There was a situation that the man who is blind, cannot see, on the busy street, and he say he has somebody wrote for him, I am blind, with his bow for getting money. So he is a beggar for sure. And people keep walking. Not many people stop and give him a penny. However, there was a woman. She is very successful, and I think that she knows language. So she stopped by next to him and get his carton and try to write down a sentence. Today is a good day, and I cannot see it. Right after that, people just keep stopping and give him money. The reason is easy. If you understand language well, you know that the power of the sentence I am blind, and the power of the sentence, the today is beautiful, I cannot see it. The meaning is the same. The meanings of two quotations are the same. However, the power of the longer one, with more description, more touching feeling, that people, when they read that sentence, they see that, oh, we are lucky, and this person is not lucky, so we should give him something. And with the sentence, I am blind, it's a fact, and okay, it's your fault, no, oh, it's your job, or it's your matter, it's not my matter. But if it is about something with feeling, it's everybody matter. And you see, if you really study the language, if you really study English is a major, you don't just stop at being good in 4 skills. You need to know, you need to have knowledge about the words, about everything I tell you, about global citizen, about global warming, about how to help people, about how to deal with people, about the chores in the companies. Nobody will teach you that at school, because when you go to class, you should study the courses. And it's very important. The company will look at you and see how you act, see how you observe things, the skills of observation. I cannot teach you that if you study in my course of listening and speaking only. You see? And all of these things are very important in the work. Like Lam Zalam already mentioned about something, that he has a chance to talk to people with a job, with a part-time job and teaching. And that, if he stop, he waits for him to email him, for the boss to email him about the chance. No, he will not get that chance, because when he has the laptop, nobody knows. He has to email or text that person again. Okay, now I'm ready. Can you give me an offer or something? So the task, the skills of asking people to help you, or asking people to do what you really want to do, or want them to do, it's a skill too. So kind of like today, I plan to do something with you, but when you text me, you say, "Oh, I get a stressful thing, the very stressful things, and I cannot finish something." And like for me, I understood the situation, so I cannot stop teaching. I have to switch it to something easier for you, not in the lesson, not something stressful with listening and something with lecture that you cannot understand well with new words. I try to tell you something from my own and my language so that you can listen and understand easier. That easier, okay?
Well, thank you for your sharing. But actually, do you want me to share a little bit about ASL, our club?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Do it. Yes.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I think all of you know me. I'm Thủy and now our teachers, Mr. Kang, and some students in foreign language department uh, organized a club named ESL, Essential Skill for Life. And I think it's suitable for all of you because it can help everybody can learn and share and apply technologies for your learning English. And I think all of you can and love to like our page. You can share this page in Facebook, and I hope you, all of you, uh, to like this page and support us to organize the upcoming events. And I think Mr. Ken want to share about our page and our club. I hope you can share, Mr. Ken, because you are the leader of us.
Okay. I'm not leader, I'm the supervisor. Okay, but I will try to share with you now the link of our Facebook now for the new group. Okay, let me get the link, and then you can join and support us with your like first, because the skills I send it into our listening speaking C1.2 C2. Okay, I shared to our group already, and you can see that we just started the descriptions and things 2 days ago, and we intend to write new posts every week, and we have quiz, we have some kind of monthly meeting so that we can share experiences or experience to learners of English or French, so that they can estimate or think about their skills in the future. We need to repair this because of the quality of the training program. It's not because of me, it is because of the students. And with my experience in working in different area, I have been working in many places before I became a lecturer at Canton University. I used to go to do my salary with private sector. I used to work in international projects. I used to work with a lot of foreigners. I used to work with public sector. I used to work at a school. I used to work with kind of company. So I have been trained with different kinds of skills because I have been doing things differently when I was student to now, and there are a lot of skills that I see student at CTU. We don't have enough social skills, life skill, and it happens when my wife and I. My wife is in charge of taking care of the how do we say, of the course about apprenticeship or the internship. So if you are at the end of the third year, you will go to the company to work for a month. And my wife, Dr. Veng, is in charge of that. And from the process of helping students to find a place to practice their English or practice their employability skills, I see a lot of problems. Students do not know how to talk to the employer. They do not know how to write email. They do not know how to wear something properly. They can text the employer in the middle of the night. They can call the employer during the midday, or they send them messages without any information for them to estimate who's that. Or even they do not know how to do things and they just keep silence and they don't respond. The employer gave feedback to us, you know, and there's a case I have to tell you. Student last year, just recently, last summer, for 2 students only in Ho Chi Minh City. So there was 2 students, one from the normal training program and one from the high quality program. The English level of the normal program, the person from the normal program is higher than the person from the high quality training program, English speaking. And they both work in Ho Chi Minh City in a very active school. So if you work in some challenging area, you will have more skills. And these 2 people get different score from the company. For the high quality, they get maximum 8 points, although that their English is not as good as the person from the normal program. Do you know why? Do you know why? Can anyone guess that? Hello?
Excuse me, can you repeat the situation again, please?
We had 2 interns. It means students from our school go to the company to work for 1 month. Clear now?
Yes.
And that place is in Ho Chi Minh City and it's very active, professional. So after 1 month, the reason from the company and they send feedback to us that 2 persons, one is from the more normal program like you, and one is from the high quality program. The high quality program, the English of that person is not as good as the person from the normal program. However, the employer evaluated the person from the high quality program higher, get maximum score. And for the normal program, she got only 6 points out of 8. And for the high quality program, that person got 8 out of 8. And do you know why is that?
I can say, I guess the only thing that the normal person is better than the high quality student is that he can communicate well. Just
No.
that.
Reverse.
Reverse.
The normal
Yes.
person with higher language skills get lower score.
Yes. Okay. The only thing that the high quality is better than the normal person is that he can speak English well and communicate well. But when it comes to soft skills, the normal students, he somehow better than the other. He have a better adapting ability to an environment. So that's when he learn new skill, he learn very fast, and I think that's the reason why the reason between these two students is different.
Yeah, there's something like that, but I have to explain a little bit right here. So it's not the effects from anyone, from me or from anyone else, but for those who went to the internship last summer. So the people from the student from the high quality training program used to work under pressure, and they know how to they have the sense of learning. I am not sure for everybody, but for that person at that time, we can see in her work, from the eyes of the employer, that person like to learn, can learn things, can adapt well, as Lam just mentioned, adapt well to the environment, try to learn new things, and don't try to negotiate or don't try to do things that just for completing, but the attitude doing the work is different. And you can imagine that when you get problems, you know how to solve it. When you get to talk, you need to talk. When you need to negotiate, you negotiate. When you need to do things, you do things, and you understand what they are asking you to do. And for that kind of thing, I don't know why, but I have the feeling, if you don't really think about yourself, you do study just to pass the course. And if you study to pass the course, you cannot adjust yourself to the new requirements of the course. And many people already or always tell me that when they study with me, they have to do a lot of things, more than other courses or more than similar courses, and that take their time. They cannot do blah 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 blah, and they don't study. That the attitude, for sure. And when you have that kind of attitude, you are not ready to open your mind or open yourself so that you can learn new things. When I ask you to do something, usually there's a reason. It is for you to experience something. It could be hard, and how you fix the problem. It could be difficult, and how you solve it. That will give you the skills. If I teach you just in the coursework, I teach you just as normal teacher, other teachers who taught you before. That's not the university, because in the university, people have different styles. And even you have different style. We cannot ask people to teach you the same. And you have to think about different kinds of requirement from or request from the employer in the future. Sometimes they ask you something that you don't even imagine. You have to do something you have to finish this today for tomorrow meeting. And they don't care if you have the birthday parties or something during the night. And there is no second chance. I mean over here is that If you learn something because that you want to study it for yourself, you will study it differently. If you study it because you want to pass the course only because of the degree only, you don't get any skills at all. You get your knowledge of the English, of the language, but not the pace of doing things. And one time last year, when there was a course, I ran a course of extensive reading. In that course, my student had to read 7 books for 14 weeks. The first week, kind of student just try to react. Oh, my dear or teacher, we will not do that. It's too difficult. It's too boring, etc. But you know, when you read books, you need to develop critical thinking. You need to understand why people think like that in the book. Why do they mention something? What kinds of clue or symbols do they use to indicate something special? And many kinds of questions we have during reading. It's not just reading to read, it's reading to understand and to generate or to reconstruct the new knowledge. And I give them some of my favorite books of my life. And when they read it, they get kind of, they try to fight with me for the first 3 weeks. And you know, I still ask them to read. Somebody read. When we go to the class, we discuss. And if they don't read, they listen. And after 7 weeks, some people who don't really want to read, at the end, they read something. Because at that time, they know that when they read the books, it's not like comprehension. It's not reading comprehension in the reading skills. Reading books is a skill that you need to do if you want to be successful. And if you want to join the market, you have to have knowledge of the humanity. The knowledge is in the book. And if you don't read books, you don't know what they are thinking. They don't have time to talk to you. Or you will not have time or money to pay for them to talk to you. If they have books, read the book. And then explain why they think like that, why you don't think like them, why they say something like this, and why don't they say something like that, and what kinds of society they are living. So a lot of skills and things from that. And after 14 weeks, many students finish their 7 books, and they have the new habits of reading every day. Every day they have to read something. And I have a group of students that are ready to help me kind of translate things or check grammars for my books. Of course, they do it because I am too busy, and they just help me. And they think that they told me that they want to help because I am too busy, and when they help me, they learn some experience. And that is social skill. That is soft skill. That is soft skill. They have done something to help people volunteer. And over here is to help me and to do something for the world. So like now, I have Essential Skill Club, and Johnny is one of the member of the leaders. And we are doing things because we think that when we do these things, it's useful for people, for students in the bigger scale. It's not just us, but for us ourselves, we learn some other skill, leading skill. We learn to run something. We learn to marketing, to do marketing something. We learn to build the content, to write content marketing. We learn how to cooperate with each other. We learn how to deal with people, how to convince them to trust you to do something, how to design things that are not from school. So there are many kinds of skills, and if you don't do it, you don't experience anything. Okay, so do you have any question after this? Hello?
I have a question, sir. After listening to your talking about these things, I have a question is that what made you want to become a teacher at the first time?
Okay, it's interesting. When I was a student in high school, I wanted to become a pharmacist. A pharmacist.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
You know, but at that time, it's not lucky. It was not a luck for me. I applied for 2 majors and I passed only one. After my high school, I passed the entrance exam to continue university and I failed to Ho Chi Minh City. So at that time, I was really shocked, and I intended to stop learning because English is not my strength. I don't have a good accent. I was very how do we say? I was shy with my language. I don't dare to talk a lot in English. To speak in English, I have the skills, but it's not good as what I wanted. And even now, when I achieve my academic goal, my English is still the same. It's not much different because I don't have the accent of the people with a good voice, like some of you in the class. I have only the sound of American accent because I have a lot of friends. I worked with a lot of Americans, so I have the skills. I have the intonations of American accents. However, it's not really good. For sure, I see myself like that. I'm not really a good speaker of English, for sure. But then, because of English, I can study a lot of things. I study a lot of things. I read a lot of books. I know the problems of learners. And after graduation, I decided to go to a college to apply for a job, and I worked there for 9 years. The reason for me to become a teacher was that when I was even younger, I was really good with computer, with programming, not programming, but with computer. I can do everything. I learned from BCAT, regress, from the time that nobody know well about typing or doing computer, kind of like that. And I had my dad give a lesson or tutor with some teachers who are some students who are older than me to do computer like that. And kind of when my dad talked, it seemed that nobody understand. And when I help his students, everybody understand. That's the point. And when I finished university, I have been doing different kinds of jobs in my life. So I used to be a vendor. I can work well as a vendor. I can sell everything. If you give me something, I can sell it. I can sell it. I can. I won a contest. I won the first prize of the University Youth Union about the best seller, to be the best sellers of the school in a contest, for sure. I won a prize with that. Yes. So I have the skills of being an employee in a company. Like I worked for Biên Hòa, BBCO, right? During the trade fair. So I was really good seller. When I try to invite customer to my stand to buy things, they are happy to come and buy things. You know, so my face really attract people to buy things, not to be my learners. So if I go to sell something, it's very easy when I was students, and I can work as a technician in IT shop, so I can do many kind of jobs at that time, or I can read story for people. I can help people to do volunteer. I do volunteer to help people. I have been in different kinds of job. I do tutoring too. So after all, I see that, okay, I can become a teacher. So I applied for the job to become a teacher, but then I was not assigned to become a teacher. I worked as an international assistant. It means that at that time I deal with documents to get foreigners to the school, or I deal with I will be the translator for them when they go to work with the leaders. I work with them, tutor them with Vietnamese. I teach them, or I organize classes for them. I mean, like for the whole time, for 2 years, and the rest of my time at that college, I work with foreigners the most of my time. And the reason for me to become a teacher at that time, if I have to think, it is just because I want to change education. At that time, of course, now when I study more, I know that I cannot do anything. But then when I was a student, I was not a good student as you do. And I want to change that fact. I will to have my student to study because they want to study, not because that they study for the course to pass. And my priority, my first, or my prominent reason was that I want to change education, because people suffer education. And when and like that, I went to the job. I became a teacher. I was assigned to become a teacher after 2 years of working as international assistant. And at that time, I became the head of English department at that college, with no experience of teaching, because I study not pedagogy. I study linguistics like you, because I don't have any skills of teaching. I have different perspective of teaching. I don't have the time to go to high school to teach. I don't have any kind of skills like that. I just becomes a teacher because at that time the school, the leaders of the school assigned me to be the head of English department. After a few years of working in a different field, and okay, when I became the head of English department in a different school, not at the university for sure, in a different college. And at that time I have to teach, so I have to study again, because for a long time I just work with papers and YouTube. So I study again my English. Except for speaking skill, I don't have anything left. I have studied again how to teach people, how to teach grammar. I learned again everything. And at that time, I really became a teacher. The reason at that time that I became a teacher is not because I want to change the work anymore, because somebody assigned me. Because at that time, my boss assigned me to become a teacher. And from that moment to now, I don't think that I am regret to become a teacher, because when I realized that my role in the society is not just to teach, but I have to change youngster to change their thinking about themselves, about the identity of Vietnamese, about our role in this earth, in the globalization. So about to have people, about to have within their range, and about to change their mindset, open the mindset, so that we can reach the new levels of learning. And it's hard to tell you a lot of things. And when I study more about philosophy, about ethics, we can see that it's a very difficult for you to imagine. But I will show you how I study right here with my learning about philosophy. So this is my understanding and my summaries of the developments of ethics. I will download it and I will turn it bigger for you to see. Okay, 1 minute. So when I study well, when I study better, I improve my knowledge. I understand that human will go through these kinds of things, and as I mentioned to you this morning about Christians right here. That is one of the present modern ethics. Where's that? Sorry, I missed something. It's not that. Wait. It's been using Christian over here. Sorry, it's over here. Christian ethics. This is Christian ethics. So if we compare it to 2,000 years ago, we go from absolutism, doctrine of the mean, hedonism, cynicism, stoicism, and then Christian ethics. That is the modern. That is the modern ethics, that we believe in the divine. It means the God, and we have certain rules of moral for behavior. And then Spinoza, and then utilitarianism, and then we have some other kinds, and until today. But the today ethics usually get from Christian ethics a little bit. And you know that when I understand well about philosophy, it's mean triết lý in Vietnam. Triết học. I understand that I cannot change the world. I cannot change education. I cannot change anything. What I can do is that to change myself. I can change myself to be more knowledgeable, to be more helpful to other people. So that's why I think I'm still in the teaching job with low salary, to continue to inspire my change to learners, so that they can be different people. They can be useful. They can become useful for other people, for the world. And if that happens, Vietnam will be different in the future. So I have to tell you that I have different plans to change the teacher with their teaching, to change the student with their thinking and the skills. Because I don't want to change them, but I want to change myself, so that I can inspire more of them to be different, so that they can help more people. That is what I want to do when I am a teacher. And now I have to make sure that you understand me, that I do not change the work. I change myself only. I change myself to inspire more changes from other people. That is the only thing, and the only thing that I wanted to do. And you can see on my link at the beginning of the course, when I email you, you will see that I have bit.ly bit.ly khen mê cống, and that is the link I created to advertise about me, about my identity, about the road that I have been through, so that people can see what I am doing, what I have done is reachable for people. When I was a student, I was not really a good one, but now I can achieve one of the highest quality in the learning in the academic field. So it's not to advertise myself, but it's to show people that they can do it. They can do it. Everybody can do it, because my step is very clear. For in what year I do anything, I learn something. When, even now, I keep learning. When my job does not need me to really achieve something new, but I still do it. I can still just continue to study. And I do that because of my students, because of the teacher that I am going to give them lecture. I do the YouTube channel to share my experience and my skills and my knowledge, because I want more students and more teachers to read it, to listen to it. Not because I want them to change, because I want them to look back at themselves if they can do anything better for the world, for everybody else, not just them. So do you see what I mean over here? So even for me now, I do this channel. It's not just because of anything. I send different kinds of things right here, and I have application for teaching. I have soft skills. I have research. So I have different kinds of playlists so that people can see. Of course, my English in these channels are not really good, because I don't care. I don't plan the speaking. I speak because I am speaking, not because that I plan to speak it carefully or something. So what you see is that I want to change so that people can see my changes from being not really good learner to become not a good teacher but inspired teacher. And if you understand this sentence, this phrase on the screen, ignorant teacher, if you want to understand these 3 words, you need to read at least 5 books to understand it, because if you translate it, it's stupid. It's not the meaning, and it has the meaning, the implication that not everybody can understand it, and you have to read some books to understand it. And if you want, I can type the name of the book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. This is the first one. The second one, Letter to the Teacher. Beautiful, Risk, and Patient. These are the names of the books that that you have to read to understand that term. Sorry, we have more, but if I give you a lot of books, you will be shocked again. So okay, the first three first, and then you can do it later. You can find out something about Freire, Paulo Freire, Milani, no, my teacher Peter Mayo. So Peter Mayo, Peter Mayo. I think I forget his name maybe, but maybe I forget his second. Peter Mayo. I remember the name, but I don't know how to write it well. So he was my teacher at the university for my PhD about critical pedagogy. So these are the terms that you need to search if you want to understand about just one term, just this term, ignorant teacher. And you know, I write these things not just because of me, because that people will see my care, my definition of a teacher, even that something about my job, about my working experience, even from now, on the newspapers about me. You can see everything is about me on this page, and not about publication because I don't update it. I didn't update it in a long time. So I have done this for a long time ago, and I didn't update it. And I have been through around 13 or 14 countries, and you see many countries in the world. So this is in Maine, USA. So I have been teaching different kinds of skills in my life. This is on the the courses that I have been teaching for 20 years of my teaching, and on the achievement, the backs. So everything that I study because of myself, it's not because of the teacher tell me. And even that when I work where I work for a long time, what do? I have it everything here clearly. What have I done even from now, 2011? Sorry, 2021. I still continue to study more. You see, when I became the teacher, full-time teacher, senior lecturer at Canter University, I continue to study. And I don't stop. I continue. And you see that the major point. Learning is unstoppable. And if you want to become somebody, you need to be good at yourself. When your value is higher, nobody can stop us. And it's not about me. It's about you. So if your value, your skills is good, you can find any job. I mean that even now I go to any sector. I used to be in any sector. I worked in private sector. I worked in the market. I have been in any places and I was successful. And even that I have done something for people. Even now, if you want, I can show you the book that even I try to write the books for not for me, the book for people. Maybe let me get my email, Gmail. Even I try to write the books so that it can help more teachers to use technology in teaching. I need to search for so even that I'm going to have this book now. Is on the ways to be printed. So apply in ICT in teaching, and I write it because I want people to change. I want people to change. And it's not for me, because the money is not enough for me to do it. And I just focus on changing the teacher. I want the teacher, if they are not good at technology, they want to ask themselves and they can learn from what I have done with the guys in my book. If they are not excellent in IT, can they change their lessons or not? So I have done this because of a hope that education in the remote area will be different. And even that I try to tell them, to share with them some basic things that they can do more, embedding technology into teaching. And you know, I have done this not because of my major, because it's not about English, and it's not for myself and my wife, of course. Or even I have some other kinds of book. Let me see. I will try to send you something else. 1 minute. If you have any question, please tell me, because we run out of time.
One class question, sir. Like, yeah, imagine you have a class like this.
Yes.
And you add questions, and people don't want to answer. So, according to your experience, how can we encourage people to speak what they say?
It
Us
depends.
to speak what they think. Yeah.
It depends on what is it about. If it's about a lesson, usually I don't ask you to. If you ask me about the techniques, to ask people to answer, so we have different perspective to look at. When I ask you something and I know that it's in your knowledge and you don't want to speak, the technique is that we call exactly somebody. We call the name, and then that person will speak. However, if you ask people something that they may not know, so we don't push them. If my lesson is okay, people will join it. If my lesson is boring, I cannot ask people to join. Of course, because sometimes you see that you have to join the class because of the attendance. But when you teach online, it's not like that anymore. If I teach the lesson that is too boring, maybe you don't really want to study with me. You come to the class for sure, but maybe you do something else. You don't listen at all. And there are many different kinds of techniques. I am going to write the new books about that next year. That will help you how to manage the class. Now I don't have that yet. I'm thinking about that for next year. So to answer your questions right now, we have to think that there are some different kinds of techniques. You can call them. You can elicit. It's when you give them some hook that they want to ask or answer. However, it's not enough for sure. It's not enough. You have to understand your student. You have to understand the speaker in the other side of the screen. If they want to speak, they already speak. They already turn on the microphone to speak. So you have to make the feeling that they are free. They want you. You have to make the feeling that they want to speak, and they will speak. For me as a teacher and you as a student with a different gap between, I usually have two kinds of policies in the class. Sometimes I invite you. Sometimes I ask you to do homework that everybody have to do it, because I have to force you to do something for learning. And to answer your question, there should be kind of a book to explain. It is the matters of ethics. It is the matters of educator. It is the matters of feelings. The matters of how good it is. So So it's not easy. So it depends on the real situation. And if I am in the situation, I can give you advice. Is that okay?
Yeah, yes, sir. I understand.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and this is the books that we already have it, but I have not save it. I have not marketed. I have not.
Market.
I do not. I do not market it yet. This is for those who finish university and want to study abroad. And for me, it's my case. When I was a teacher in a remote area, I don't have a chance to study abroad. So I already, my wife and I both got PhD in Europe. So we go through different stages to get the scholarship, full scholarship to study. So we wrote the book so that if you really don't have the condition like us, you don't have money, you don't have condition, you still can study abroad. Done. And of course, I wrote this book because of students, not because of me, because it does not help me anything in my major. It does not help me to achieve anything from the school. I will not have anything from this book, just because I do it because of education. Done.
Ủa? Ủa? Ủa là sao? Là xong rồi đó hả?
No, sorry, I wrong
Sorry.
button. Sorry, mấy đứa có câu hỏi gì không? Cũng hết giờ rồi, thầy cũng không có. Nãy giờ thầy nói cái gì sầm quá không mấy đứa?
Không thầy ơi, hay lắm thầy ơi.
Hay lắm thầy ơi.
Tại vì bữa nay
I love your sharings. It's so helpful.
Thầy ơi, chừng nào sách thầy xuất bản vậy?
sách xuất bản rồi cưng, nhưng mà tại vì can cúm thầy không có bán được. Sách là đã xuất bản rồi. Những cuốn sách mà thầy share cho mấy đứa là đã xuất bản rồi và thầy chưa bán được, lý do là thầy đang bị cúm và thầy cứ dạy online nè. Rồi thứ nhất, thứ hai nữa, những sách này là thầy làm vì giáo dục nên nó không có được tính toán gì trong cái nghề nghiệp của thầy. Mấy đứa hiểu cái vấn đề này không? Là thầy với cô viết những sách này là chủ yếu là vì muốn phát triển hai hướng, một là giáo viên thay đổi và hai là sinh viên thay đổi. Vậy thì trong cái cuốn sách thầy viết về trải nghiệm du học đó, thì thực sự là thầy viết về những cái kinh nghiệm thầy đã trải qua để chuẩn bị con đường mình đi du học á. Thì qua bển mình sẽ gặp những cái khó khăn gì, mình chuẩn bị làm sao để mình qua bển mình không bị sốc, và qua bển mình thành công, mình trở về. Thầy cô trở về vì phục vụ đất nước chứ không phải là trở về vì ở bên kia sống tốt hay không tốt. Thì thực sự bên kia tốt hơn đây nhiều mấy đứa. Tuy nhiên là ở bên thầy sống ở châu Âu, nhưng mà mức lương của Việt Nam là thầy sống ở châu Âu cực kỳ sướng luôn. Tại vì giá cả vật chất ở châu Âu nó rẻ hơn Việt Nam mình, nó tới mấy lần nữa mấy đứa. Mấy đứa không tưởng tượng, thầy nói mấy đứa không có tin. Thầy nói thiệt, mấy đứa chừng nào bước ra thế giới thì mấy đứa sẽ tin thầy. Là đồ ăn ở Mỹ có những thứ là nó rẻ hơn Việt Nam dữ dằn lắm, và để mà sinh sống ở châu Âu đi, ở đất nước thầy sinh sống là một đất nước vô cùng xinh đẹp đó. Thì thầy nói thật, lương của Việt Nam là đã sống bên châu Âu là đã là dư giả rồi. Mức sống của thầy là dư giả đó. Mặc dù thầy có học bổng toàn phận nên là thầy đem thầy đi du lịch dữ lắm. Hai chồng thầy đi du lịch, học cùng nhau, học cùng lớp, đi du lịch suốt, đi mười mấy nước, đi Mỹ biết nhiêu lâu, đi Pháp, đi Thụy Điển, đi tùm lum nước hết mấy đứa. Mà mấy đứa không bước ra thế giới, mấy đứa không có hiểu cái gì chân. Thầy nói mấy đứa cũng chỉ tưởng tượng coi phim thôi. Thì cuốn sách đó là giống như là thầy muốn truyền cảm hứng cho mấy đứa, là kể cả là điều kiện không có như thầy đó. Thầy là thuộc dạng điều kiện không có nè, nhưng mà thầy với cô vẫn đi du học về. Mặc dù thầy với cô du học ở một cái nước nó không phải là nước nói tiếng Anh 100%. Tuy nhiên là thầy với cô là vẫn sinh sống ở một cái môi trường là giáo dục tốt nhất thế giới. mấy đứa sẽ nhìn thấy sự khác biệt, đối với môi trường giáo dục mà nói. Tại vì thầy với cô là không giỏi tiếng Anh mấy đứa, thầy với cô học ngành tiếng Anh thật, nhưng mà tiếng Anh của thầy chỉ ở mức mấy đứa nghe đó, nó không phải là quá thu hút, nhưng mà kiến thức về giáo dục của thầy với cô là thuộc dạng là hàng top đó. Mặc dù có thể sẽ không ai ghi nhận cái chuyện này đâu, nên là những cái mục đích giáo dục của thầy cô làm thì cứ thầm lặng thôi. Thầy cô cũng làm sách này kia để thay đổi giáo dục, chứ không phải là vì kinh doanh gì lắm đâu. Tại vì mấy đứa cứ tưởng tượng mấy đứa đi in cuốn sách mấy đứa biết nó mắc tiền dữ lắm. Thì thầy cũng chưa có quảng cáo, chưa lăng xê gì cả. Thực sự là tại vì sách nó về mà cúm muốn chết. Thì nữa có gì mấy đứa sẽ tham khảo thôi nhé, vấn đề gì.
Thầy có ký tặng không thầy?
Thì nếu mà mấy đứa mua thì thầy sẽ ký tặng, học trò của thầy mà. Rồi có thắc mắc gì không? Cũng sắp hết giờ luôn rồi chứ hả? Thắc mắc gì không? Bữa nay thực sự là bởi vì lời hứa với mấy đứa là thầy không có dám dạy gì hết trơn á, rồi bài tập cũng không dám cho gì luôn, thì thầy chỉ dám nói xàm vậy thôi nha. Rồi.
Dạ vậy thầy cho em đặt trước một cuốn nha thầy, nào hết dịch em lấy.
Nếu mấy đứa muốn đặt thì thầy gửi đường link đặt qua cho. Thầy có đường link. Thầy có cho đặt trước để mà in á, nhưng mà cũng ít người lắm mấy đứa. Thầy gửi cho khoảng 5.000 người mà cuối cùng chỉ có vài 30 người đặt. Tại thầy chưa gửi cho sinh viên bao giờ chứ mấy đứa hiểu không? Thầy gửi cho mấy giáo viên không á, thầy gửi cho giáo viên các nơi trên toàn Việt Nam. Tại vì thầy có cộng đồng lớn lắm mấy đứa, cộng đồng mà chuyên về thay đổi trong giảng dạy đó. Thầy gửi cho cái cộng đồng 100.000 người ha, cộng với giáo viên các nơi ha, cộng với những người mà từng học thầy luôn. Tại thầy viết sách là vì người ta cần, thầy thấy người ta cần. Thí dụ như người ta khó khăn, người ta không biết đường làm, rồi thầy viết sách bởi vì nhiều học sinh ở dưới vùng sâu vùng xa, người ta muốn đi du học, người ta không biết phải hỏi ai. Đó, nên là cuối cùng là thầy viết những cái này để vì cái thế hệ sau, tức là khi mà mấy đứa đi ra nước ngoài, mấy đứa thay đổi đầu óc một cái, mấy đứa về, mấy đứa muốn giúp đỡ thế giới nó dễ dàng dữ lắm. Giống như chuyện thầy đang làm vậy đó. Thầy làm vì xã hội tương lai chứ không làm gì chứ. Bá chuyện này bỏ công bỏ sức ra ngồi viết cũng cực khổ, hoặc là ngồi làm này kia, dự án kia cũng cực khổ, nhưng mà đâu cần tính toán chi mấy đứa. Những chuyện đó là thời phát biểu của thầy, mấy đứa nhìn mấy đứa không sốc mới sợ. Nhìn thời phát biểu của thầy là sốc đó, kinh hồn. Để thầy lấy thử thời phát biểu của thầy cho con. Thầy coi thầy đang để thời phát biểu của thầy ở đâu nha. Lỡ rồi sẵn cho coi một cái luôn. Thầy là dạng nào giờ không có từng xuất bản sách, nên là khi mà mày mò tìm hiểu nó cũng là một cái chuyện rất là vất vả luôn á. Cuối cùng thầy cũng tìm ra đường, mà năm sau thầy bắt đầu viết sách dành cho thầy. Năm nay là thầy mới viết sách dành cho mọi người thôi. Thời phát biểu. Đây, mấy đứa nhìn thời phát biểu của thầy một học kỳ nè, mấy đứa sẽ tưởng tượng được là thầy đã. Mấy đứa nhìn thời phát biểu mấy đứa hiểu mà đúng không?
Dạ hiểu.
Cái này là chưa tính thứ bảy chủ nhật nha. Cái này là thứ bảy chủ nhật thầy còn dạy những lớp khác nữa đó.
Thầy ơi, không thấy rõ thầy ơi.
Không thấy rõ hả?
Dạ.
Chắc chợn tí cho nó rõ hơn chưa?
Trời, quá trời vậy vậy.
Thì mấy đứa giáo viên của khoa ngoại ngữ mình là vậy không mấy đứa ơi. Thầy là bình thường thôi. Thầy với cô là dạy suốt vậy đó, nên là nhìn thấy cây cầu không? Cái này là chưa thấy tính thứ bảy chủ nhật là thầy dạy 3 ca ngày. Tại vì nó ngoài cái này là còn từ xe với còn vừa học vừa làm, và thầy đang học thêm tiếng Pháp nữa.
Thầy ơi, sao thầy sắp xếp thời gian được hay vậy thầy?
Trời ơi, mấy đứa tưởng tượng đi, cái này là mấy đứa phải luyện một cái gọi là nội lực của cái chuyện mà làm việc nhanh đó mấy đứa. Mấy đứa phải tập làm việc. Thí dụ như cái môn của thầy giao đi, thí dụ thầy giao mấy đứa một cái bài tập, giả sử là giao mấy đứa một bài tập quay phim đi ha, thì mấy đứa không có ngồi viết ra nữa, mà mấy đứa chỉ suy nghĩ trong đầu thôi. Sau đó là mấy đứa ngồi quay, là ví dụ bài đó quay 1 phút là mấy đứa chỉ chuẩn bị 5 phút cho nó, là ngồi quay cái thì 6 phút là xong, là nộp. Chứ ở đó mà ngồi 1 tiếng đồng hồ hay 1 ngày mà làm một video thì mấy đứa chừng nào mới làm được những chuyện này. Mấy đứa hiểu không? Mình phải tập làm việc nhanh lên và chính xác hơn, thì nó mới có cái chuyện là mấy đứa thấy thầy vừa dạy mấy đứa xong là thầy đăng YouTube, Thầy vừa dạy mấy xuống là đăng YouTube là bây giờ tổng số video của thầy mà trong 2 tháng dạy online đó đã lên 200 mấy chục cái. Ở đâu ra gì mấy đứa, thầy đâu có thời gian đâu. Thầy làm này là trong thời gian thầy giảng dạy cái đó đó. Tới đây hiểu chưa? Nên là mình phải tập một cái kỹ năng gọi là kỹ năng làm việc, kỹ năng xử lý công việc nhanh, hiệu quả, chính xác. Và cái này chỉ có được khi mà mấy đứa lăn xả, mấy đứa làm việc nhiều thôi. Chứ bây giờ mình cứ lề mề là không xong ha. Rồi vậy đi hen, rồi tới lớp mà ủng hộ thì tới bữa mà sinh hoạt chủ đề nhóm của chỗ Trinh quảng cáo hồi nãy đó thì mấy đứa vô ha. ủng hộ nhóm nha. Rồi chưa? Vậy nghỉ nha. Rồi có gì mới mốt hỏi tiếp, rồi bữa thứ tư thì mình quay lại bài vở bình thường.
Dạ, cảm ơn thầy. Tạm
Rồi.
biệt thầy ạ.
Dạ.
Rồi
Thầy
bye
ơi,
bye. Nói đi
câu
em.
cuối cùng thầy ơi. Thầy hướng dẫn lại tụi em cách mà đăng clip lên nha thầy. Hôm bữa thầy nói đăng lên YouTube hay sao đó em không nhớ. Thầy nói lại thêm một lần nữa trên group nha thầy, Zalo á thầy.
Là cái gì? Nói cái vụ gì mới được?
Cái clip của nhóm mình thuyết trình về một cái personal space đó á thầy.
Là cái bài tập của
Cái
thứ hai.
relay á thầy.
Relay thì đăng lên Zalo cho thầy thôi.
Đăng lên Zalo này.
Cứ gửi lên Zalo
Mà
cái thầy đem lên, thầy thảy lên trên YouTube của thầy đó.
dạ gì
Sao
dạ.
bạn khác học người ta vô người ta coi, trời ơi.
Dạ rồi em hiểu rồi thầy. Dạ.
mấy đứa thầy bỏ mặt mũi ra để cho mấy đứa hiểu. Tức là có những chuyện không nhất thiết mình phải ấy, mình đang trong quá trình học thì video thầy cũng giải thích là những video này là làm trong quá trình các bạn đang học, nó là vẫn còn quá trình sai bình thường mấy đứa. Sao chứ? Nhiều bữa thầy dạy nghiên cứu khoa học thì học trò lên nó nhắn thầy ơi chỗ này nó ghi DF bằng 44 sao thầy ghi 43. Nó trời ơi thì ghi tập 7 chứ sao. Ngồi dạy mà vừa dạy vừa đánh máy mấy đứa. Thầy vừa dạy thì vừa đánh máy, mấy đứa mà vô coi mấy cái clip nghiên cứu khoa học của thầy đó, thầy vừa dạy thì vừa đánh máy, rồi thì vừa suy nghĩ thì vừa nói chuyện nữa. Sai bình thường mấy đứa. Nếu mấy đứa hiểu thầy nói không, nên là thôi kệ, sai thôi. Ba chuyện đó thầy không thể nào làm tốt hơn được. Rồi vậy hen, rồi bye bye mấy đứa nha.
Dạ rồi tạm biệt thầy.
Rồi au revoir. Rồi
Au revoir, monsieur.
au revoir to the class.